you're no day, people. One angry pagan here. I'm a little bit annoyed with the left again, and I'm annoyed at the centre as well. I'm annoyed at everyone. The right. I'm most annoyed at the right, to be honest. I'm pissed off at the right because of what they've done. But you know, the centre left and the left need to find some consensus here. Like, I'm annoyed at the Labour Party for backtracking on free school meals. I'm not sure why they've done that. I don't see why. I don't like. I know that there's going to be a lot of expenses because of what the Tories have done to the economy. But like, I grew up under free school meals. I don't see why they should be doing that to the free school meals. I'm not happy about that at all. I I I will wait till the manifesto, but I am very upset about like this backing down on free school meals. I'm very upset about that. I'm education minded, and like people like me benefited from free school meals. I'm glad they're bringing back they're going to bring back the breakfast clubs. That's great. You know, I'd want to see more about youth clubs and stuff as well. But you know, from the further left, there's all this Starmer's an authoritarian, and it's all going to be terrible. They're not going to repeal any of the Tory bullshit. Like, I actually think they will. Like, I just come from Allshort's live stream, and he, amongst many others, are convinced because of what David Lammy said a few months back in terms of the protest bill, that they were that like Labour just aren't going to repeal any of the Tory bullshit. What he actually said was Labour aren't going to be concentrating on repealing a lot of these laws. That's what he actually said. And in a way, it's true because they've got a lot to do. However, I would prefer to see them repeal that law. I wonder if they could get round to it anyway. But this is why, like, as a socialist, there are things I want done. As someone who's anti-Tory, I am also having to recognise that, like, might have to sacrifice some things just to get fucking rid of them. And I seem to be in a minority on the left, where I will vote for the Labour Party. I'm a Labour member. I will vote for the Labour Party. Like, I keep seeing people saying they've got right wing policies. I've not seen. I will challenge you right now, anyone who sees this, please demonstrate to me an actual right wing policy that Labour have come out with. Please. Centre left, maybe. But anything that's not on the, like, anything that's not further than, that's not further left than fucking, as far left as Corbyn for people on the left isn't good enough. Now, I get that, like, we really need systemic change. But unless someone is willing and able to break the board of the game we have to play in this country when it comes to politics, this is the game we have to play. Don't trust Starmer. I'm not a Starmer stooge. But I will vote for the Labour Party because it's better than the Tories. And I'm not taking this bullshit that Labour Party are the same as the Tories. I grew up under the last Labour government, which was Blair's government. There's major differences between the Tories and Labour, as I've said before, and many others have said before. It's just Labour aren't good enough. Corbyn, the policies, like, yes, I want those policies, but like the plan for them was a bit like, what plan? Like, they were looking to break our economy in a similar way to what Truss did, just from a different angle. Not sure how that would have gone down. I have a feeling that unless there's like a Nye Bevan, a 21st century version of Nye Bevan, or something big happens, and I'm not talking like people say the pandemic was big. It wasn't big enough to to really get us to a different position socially, where we are ready to revolute against this current system, or revolt, sorry, against this current revolution. We need to do this incrementally, and it needs to be done by some, like, the left. To me, anyway, it seems to become very reactionary. It's very annoying because where's the proactivity? I like Bernie Sanders in America because he still holds his positions, but is still willing to be a part of the Labour Party, be a part of the Democrats. Sorry, which is their version of the Labour Party, essentially. Except I swear the Democrats are a bit further right than the Labour Party. Anyway, we need Starmer to bring in some mild changes to bring the country back. I would prefer to see. I mean, yeah. Again, I would prefer to see like Labour get in with like a 20-30 seat majority, if not a 10-seat majority. I don't think a massive majority is going to help, because I want PR as well. Also, this is the weird thing. I want things to change, but I also want PR, and there's gonna have to be some trade-offs. There's always some fucking trade-offs. There's always balance. Like, this is why idealism does my fucking head in, because we end up going around in the same circles. I want this. We need this. Yes, we need this. But how are we going to get it? That's my question. How are we going to get it? No one is giving me that answer right now. Again, I'm, I'm not happy with the amount of people speaking down about Labour, but again, I recognise that Labour are playing the centrist position. I don't like centrist positions because there's always capitulation. I don't know. I see why people get very mixed up about Phil from a different bias, because Phil is set with his tribalism more than I am. And he's a Labour Party member. He's voting Labour. He's pushing Labour because he knows Labour is better than Tories. And this is true. But I mean, so much about Labour right now is not great, or not as I would want it. But when in politics do we have it as we want it? We've got to deal with the best that we can get, which is not ideal. But again, idealism isn't practical for the most part. It's going to take something else before. I don't know what yet, but it's going to take something else before, the British people have properly, truly had enough. Like, I don't know what it'll take, but I'm annoyed that the left seem to be missing the goals on this. Like, there's no um, there's no way of looking at this situation where, you know, there's no, for example, Navarra Media, you know, is one of those media sites that where, you know, the left is making more prominence. You know, they're you know, people from the Navarra Media turning, and a lot of people like Owen Jones as well. You know, they're turning up on, you know, BBC Politics Live and whatnot in Question Time. But have they got their own channels? No. This is where I think we need to work together. Like, socialists and leftists need to work together. There needs to be, you know, crowdfunding and such. But there's no organisation. One of the great the things about socialists is we need to organise. It's not just about agitating and educating. We also need to organise. And I'm sorry, but like, there's so much, like, we seem to find it so easy to be baited into infighting, into infight by the right wing and the centre. Like, they goad us into it, and we fall for it every fucking time. Now, as a pagan, I advocate for, you know, the equal, you know, for pagans to be seen as equal as the rest, as everyone, right? Because we don't. We still get looked down on as a joke. I'm not kidding. It's not an over exaggeration. But, you know, my point there is that there's a minority in this country that is mostly silent because it doesn't want to make waves, because in the past they were fucking slaughtered. Paganism is making a re-emergence in the time where it's pretty safe for us to do so. How long will that last? The trans people are getting picked. How long will it take before pagans? I mean, I've already done I'm not even, you know what? I'm winding myself up here. I'm not going to stop. If you want to know more about that, go to my video about Jewish magazine and other problems. In any case, again, back to the left. There's, you know, I see from Vosh. He seems to be a socialist that is more practical. Like, whereas he would rather stuff like that, you know, more socialist stuff happen. He recognizes that this is the game we have to play. People can talk about, oh, we need a revolution. Yes, we need some kind of revolution. But unless someone is willing to break the board or change the board of the game, this is the game we have to play. We have to find someone who's willing, or a group of people even. I would actually be more willing to back not just one person, but 2, maybe 3 people, like a triumvirate of sorts, where there's no single person in power. I'm not sure. I mean, again, this is me thinking idealistically and thinking far ahead, but, you know, the left needs to organise properly, and it needs to start cooperating with the centre left, because the left, as I said, it keeps falling for the infighting that is baited by the centre and the right, and it is pissing me off. I mean, all you've got to say is, oh, start, like, as soon as there seems to be some consensus going on, you know, oh, Labour's energy programme seems, it's just not too bad, let's go with that. And then the right come out with something, oh, but Starmer's not doing this. Boom! It's just all fucking... I mean, Starmer hasn't helped either by attacking the left. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's done that because, like, he wanted to distance himself from Jeremy Corbyn's lot, and thinking that Corbyn's left was toxic to the general public. There's something to be said about that, but I'm not entirely sure I can fully agree with it. I had responses on Facebook from people saying like Starmer's just a red Tory. He's not. He's not though, is he? Like, I've not actually heard him come out with Tory policies. Again, I challenge anyone to actually prove to me that they're coming up with Tory policies. Like immigration, they're not talking about the wholesale curtailing of immigration. Not everyone, and this whole thing of Labour being a pro-Brexit party. I'm not sure make Brexit work means we're now pro-Brexit. I really don't. And there are going to be many on the left, and I am socialist. I don't care what all your standards are. I consider myself a heathen socialist. My goal is to make things as fair and equal amongst everyone, including pagans. So socialism, and I see socialism as the best way towards that. But I don't, I think people are taking absolute views and judging Starmer before he's able to actually do anything. I think Starmer's lot is a mixed bag. Ultimately, I think Starmer's lot is a mixed bag. I'm waiting to hear more details on policies. I want to hear more about the decentralization of power. If that's actually going to go ahead, I will be very pleased. But for, outside London, if they can get this energy policies in place, grand. But I want to hear more. I get that they don't want to, say too much. But I do. I'm getting annoyed at Starmer and Labour now. I want to hear more. I want to hear more challenge. Like Stella Creasy's good because she properly challenges back when it comes to, and not only she's not afraid of saying that we need to rejoin the EU. I suppose being a backbencher at Labour MP, that's not too bad. She can do that, I suppose, but still. I said before though that make Brexit work. I don't think that's a pro-Brexit position. And I think the left are making this argument very difficult. We can't just rejoin the EU. It's not going to happen. Don't like taking absolutist views, but the EU said this themselves. We're not just going to rejoin. So what do you expect Labour to do? Make Brexit work is, to me, a case of we're going to make this work as best we can until such time as the EU is willing to let us in. However, they're not saying that in such clear terms because that's going to they fear that's going to piss off a large portion of the electorate. Whether they're correct on that or not, I'm not entirely sure. But that seems to be the line that they're going with. By my understanding, I should say. I've not seen the same again. There's this attack of Labour being a pro-Brexit, but I've not heard the same pro-Brexit lines that the Tories come out with, or other right-wingers come out from the Labour Party. I've not heard the same lines. And again, I challenge someone to prove that Labour are coming out with exactly the same lines as the Tories. Prove it. Like side by side comparisons. Do that, and I'll believe you. Same with the right-wing policies that Labour's supposedly coming out with. Prove it. Don't just say, oh, it's not. Don't just say they're right-wing because they're not as far left as you'd like. If they're centrist positions, say they're centrist, not right-wing. There's a difference. There is a centre ground. I'm not in the centre because the centre relies on capitulation way too much. But given the material, as a Marxist, given the material situation we find ourselves in right now, there are few options for us. So, for those of us on the left, we have a choice. We can behave in a way that lets the Tories continue to keep power. We can make it so that Labour have a minority government, and we can push for, they're forced to listen to us more, or we can push for a Labour government that might get stuff done. Might fix the government. I would prefer the second option of the three. Not a centrist. I would prefer the second option of the three, because the second option is more, it's more possibility of getting PR that way. But I think this is where I'm going to end this one. Very annoyed. Very frustrated, again, at both the left and the centre left. I've not been able to do much recently because I've been a bit ill. But hopefully, if this gets better, then hopefully I'll come out with some more stuff against the Tories. I want to do more. I need to catch up with some reaction videos for Politics Live and Question Time and such. I really need to do some of those. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that soon. I just wanted to put this video up whilst I'm feeling okay, and this stuff was on my mind. My voice is starting to go already. So yeah, this is Shadow Eater, one angry pagan, and good weird, Theo. Please, let's actually try to think of ways forwards instead of bitching about what we don't like and not actually trying to push for ways forward. It's all well and good bitch, but I'm gonna take what Big Madge has said. Bug your local MPs, especially if they're Labour MPs. Fucking piss them off. Get on their nerves. Make it so they can't get these fucking socialist policies out of their fucking head. Do it as much as possible. Agitate. But whilst agitating and educating is all well and good, we need to actually organise. The left in this country are not organised. I got Owen Jones's video. Sorry, I just carried on a bit over now, but Owen Jones's recent video on fucking, the Just Stop Oil versus Pride. Two left movements having an argument with each other. The argument being facilitated by, a right-wing fucking atmosphere. So, can we not? Can no one else see the hypocrisy here? Keep falling into this baiting traps, being baited into traps by the right, into arguing with ourselves and fighting with ourselves, infighting. I've just had enough. I'm not, I'm going to carry on pissing everyone off with this. This is my view is subject to change, given evidence. But we need to actually organise. Because otherwise, just talking about how Starmer isn't good enough, Labour isn't good enough, what good is that? If that convinces people to vote Tory and not to vote Labour, not for it. Sorry, not for it. If it's, to get people, if your message is vote Labour, but bug the fuck out of your MPs so they do what we want them to, fair enough. But if you're saying don't vote Labour because they're exactly the same as the Tories, I'm not with you. I'm just not. Because again, no one's been able to actually prove to me that they are the same as the Tories. Like this, it sounds very similar. It sounds very similar. Yeah, that's scaremongering. I'm waiting for evidence. David Lammy's saying that they're not going to that they're not going to repeal all these, not going to be able to repeal all these laws. Isn't right-wing talking point. It's a centre ground talking point. Just saying. So again, if you've got criticisms of the Labour Party, fair enough. But if those criticisms are going to drive you are going to drive us to the point where the Tories are going to win the next election, nah. Because it's the same it's the same argument in reverse against Corbyn fans. I voted Labour in the last election for Corbyn. I'm voting this time for fucking Starmer's Labour Party. Why? Because I want Labour to fucking win. Why? Because because I grew up under Labour. It was better than it was under the fucking Tories. And Lib Dems with the Tories don't fucking help. We know this. I think people really need to come down off their high horses and come down off their absolutism. Bug your MPs. But don't let the Tories win. Yeah, this has been Shadow Eater, One Angry Pagan. Sorry, I'm trying to do the outro again. Please, enough. We need to organise, guys. Go the way to see you. Bless the Thursday, guys.